On this video, I would like to continue finishing Revelation 21, verses 22 to 27, analyzing the Greek, reading the Greek and analyzing the Greek text, along with a running commentary. It reads, Kai na'an uk edan enaute, ha gar kurias hata as ha pantakrator, na as autes estin kai ta arnean. And I saw no temple in the city, or in it. Notice Adon is your aorist indicative active, first person singular from charao. So I did not see in it a temple. Ha gar kurias hata as ha pantakrator naas autes estin kai ta arnion. Why? For the Lord God Almighty is its temple in the Lamb. What a beautiful thought that in eternity the Lord God Almighty will be the temple and the Lamb is the temple. Estin is your present indicative active third person singular from Ami. So we're seeing how that there will not be a literal temple, but the Lamb will be the centerpiece and the temple in that glorious time. And then it goes on, verse 23, Kaihe palas u rean eke tu heliu udete salenes, kena phinosin alte. That is, and the city is not having need of the sun nor of the moon in order that it might shine or give light to it. Here we have Eke is your present indicative active third person singular from echo. So that glorious city will not need the moon or the sun, for we're told that in order that it might light the city. By the way, phinosin is from phino, present subjunctive active third person plural from phino. Hagar doxa tu sau, aphotisin altain. For the glory of God lights or has lighted or caused to light the city. In other words, the glory of God has lighted or will light. I would see this as a futuristic aorist, and aphotisin will light it, the city. Notice this is from photidzo, aorist indicative active third person singular from photidzo. So the glory of God will light that city, and the lamp, its lamp will be the Lamb. And we have that imagery going back to Genesis, where Yehi Or, Vayihi Or. There was light before there was the sun and the moon. God is the source of light, and the Lamb. In him was life, and the life was the light of humankind. So Jesus will provide the lamp in that day, and so will God the Father. He is the light, and Jesus also is the lamp that will lighten that eternal city. Kai peripatesusin ta ethne dia tu photas autes. And the Gentiles, or the nations, shall walk through its light, or by its light. It's interesting here, peripateusin is from peripateo, future indicative active third person plural, and meaning the nations of the world will walk in that glorious city through its light. And kings, kai hoi basiles, tes, gaze, ferusin, tain, doxan, auton, ace, autain. And that is, the kings of the earth shall bring their glory into it, or bring their glory. Ferusin is your present indicative active third person singular from federal. So the kings of the earth bring their glory into it, that great city. And then verse 25, kai hoi pulones autes ume klestosin hemeros nuxgar uk estai eki. And its gates shall never be closed by day, for there shall be no night there. Gates were closed to protect the inhabitants of a city in ancient times. And what we're told here is this will be safe. There won't be any night there. It will be absolute safety and bliss. So that their gates will not be shut, will not ever be shut. Pleistocene is the aorist passive subjunctive third person plural from pleo, to close or to shut. So they will never be shut, for there shall be no night there. Estai is your future indicative active third person singular from ami. And furthermore, kai oisusin tain doxan kai tain temen ton et non eis autain. And they shall bring glory and honor of the nations into it. So the glory and honor of the nations are coming into it, will be a part of it. Oisusin is your future indicative active third person plural from federal. So they shall bring the glory and honor of the nations into it. Kai ume eseothe esautain pan koinan kai ha poion bedelugma kai psudas eme hoi gegramenoi ento biblio te soes tu arneum. And it shall not be shut. And there shall not enter, not only are the gates open, but there shall not enter into it any that basically is unclean. Notice the seotheism a serkamai. It's the aorist subjunctive third person singular from aserkamai. There shall no wise enter into it anything that is unclean. Kai ha poion bedelugma, and one who practices abomination. Poion is your present participle, active participle, nominative masculine singular. And nor pseudos ame, nor anyone who practices falsehood or lying, except hoi gegramenoi in to biblio te soes tu I arneu. Only those who have been written in the book of the life of the Lamb will go in to that eternal city. Gegramenoi is a perfect passive participle nominative masculine plural from grapho. So only those who have been written in the book of the life of the Lamb. That is, to be a part of this city, one needs to have one's name written in the book of life. Often, a city would have names written of those who were part of that city. And to be part of this eternal city, it is essential to have our names written in the book of life. And so, just reading a note here in conclusion from, again, Breaking the Code by by Bruce M. Metzger. It reads on page 102, John next turns his attention to aspects of life within this incredible city. The reader is no doubt surprised that he presents heaven without a temple. Unlike Ezekiel, who spends 4 chapters, 40 to 43, in a detailed description of the new temple, John says, I saw no temple in the city. There is no temple or sanctuary in the holy city, for in one respect, the city itself is all sanctuary, its dimensions being in the form of a cube, like the Holy of Holies in the Mosaic tabernacle of old. The immediate presence of God is no longer in a reserved place, entered only by the high priest, and that but once a year. God is now accessible to all. The assurance that the city's gates will never be shut by day conveys the sense of perfect freedom and access and fellowship with God. Normally, the gates of ancient cities, as we had said previously, were closed during the night for security reasons. But the gates of this city do not need to be closed, for there will be no night there. And I think the thought is it'll be safe. One won't have to worry about night and darkness and evil things happening, because that will not be in this eternal city. So I'm going to stop there. We'll move on to talk about how John will be shown now other things about this city, the river that will flow from the heavenly throne, and that beautiful picture of the tree of life on each side, and providing a nourishment. There'll be no hungering or thirsting. So what I'd like to do is come back and pick up in 22 as we're getting close to the end of our pilgrimage through the book of Revelation.